Good evening. Good evening. Man, I wish I had a helm like this that I could wear while streaming. I would get so many follows and subs. You'll note still can't see what I'm using as a weapon because it clips, and you can't, despite the fact you can change the cosmetic, you can't see what the cosmetic looks like in any enlarged way like this. Way to go, Blizzard. Alright, back at it. I'm level 45 plus, almost 46, I think. That's where I left it. That's a little warm. Let us take the lid off and let it do a little bit of cooling action. I did want to change my title. I don't think I've given my character a title. So many prefixes. Lurking is one of the new ones, I believe. I am a big fan of alliteration for titles and the like. Lurking Lout. I can use that. Lurking Lout. Lurking Lapidary is a little bit weird, but Lurking Lout works. Mad Maniac seems a bit redundant to me. But maybe that's just because I'm not a Mad Maniac. Or not enough of a Mad Maniac. Anyway. Fat Body. Oh, are you actually doing the story? I chose the equivalent of adventure mode. So you would have gotten your horse. I don't know. If you do the story, do you still get the horse? I guess you probably do. If you're in Act 4, then you're probably somewhere around 40. Could be plus or minus. As you can see, I finished off enough of the season's journey to get the pretties. It's a clam. There it is. So this is the first tier of the cosmetic gear you get. It's it's subtle. It's nice and understated. I am at 45, almost 46. I'm thinking, how much time do we have on these? 41 minutes. Bounties to start off the evening, or the equivalent of bounties. What they turned bounties into, and I will give them full credit. This is a huge improvement on bounties. Holy shit. Is it a huge improvement on bounties? So this is one of the game systems where I feel they have improved the game over D3. I've done a couple, but the one I tried this season, I was a little under-leveled for. And evidently so was everybody else. Because after like 3 minutes, we'd barely even taken any life off it, so I just bailed. There's supposed to be a notification when they're going to spawn, like 10 minutes before they spawn or something. The one that is the lowest level, 25, I think, spawns here on the map. This far southeast corner of the map section with Kyovashad. So that's what? Shattered Peaks? Fractured Peaks? Fractured Peaks. So the far eastern, basically due east of Kyovashad. The second one is here, I think, in Skosglen. And when they're up, there should be a counter on the right. I've never seen it. Saying where and actually, I believe, showing you when. Showing you where and saying when. As far as I've been able to see, the first one is the most dangerous. Significantly. At least at level. Melee. As in many games, Melee is kind of screwed in the world bosses. That was it? Wow. Easiest pip ever. Should be the next one that we want, precious. You're playing a Necro, right, Fat Buddy? Which build? You own Bone Spears, Minions. I got Reap up to 40 in the preseason. Is it Reap? No, not Reap. I don't think Reeve, maybe? It's a ranged sort of melee attack. It looks like a big scythe swinging. All right, fine. We'll kill some of these guys because
I must wait a moment.
cool. I wish I had the courage to do it that way. But unlike I mean, in PUE, I've only really made my own build a couple of times, and they're no better than okay. But I'm certainly willing to experiment later in the league once I've got a firm footing with a bunch of stuff salted away from whatever my first build was for the league. And here, sadly, it's just too easy to make a bad build for me to want to take the risk. I mean, although, respecking is not incredibly difficult or expensive.
I must wait a moment.
Woo! Legendary!
I need more spirit.
Alright, we'll kill this guy and the bossy will come. And the bossy comes. And dies. Quite quickly indeed. We need 12 more dead things to get the 3 pip.
An ultra spirit. I'm low on spirit.
I am low on spirit. That's not true. I've got spirit. Yes, I do. Then go down here. Shrine Defiler, huh? Well, he's dead now. Obols. Who does not like obols? Obols are delicious. Almost as delicious as bad Russian accent. Sorry. I'll try to stop. It won't work, but I'll try. Are we that close? Note to self. Don't do that. Don't jump off your horse for no reason, you dumb so-and-so. It is that close. Well, hi guys.
I'm out of spirit.
I'm out of spirit. We'll push the button and we'll get 3 pips after we kill the 3 dudes.
I must wait a moment.
He scared off my doggies. That mean man. We are up to 6 pips. We need 4 more pips, and then we can go to the head office, the headquarters, you know, the head branch. Over to Bears. We got a ring. What's the ring got? When you are struck as a werebear, you have a 30% chance to gain 1 spirit. I'm only a werebear for a second when I do a trample. So in other words, no thank you. 526, 100 and 104 item power more, but I'd be losing, theoretically, a useful affix. Wait, do I have that one on 2 things? I must. Basic skill. Where is it? Attacking enemies with a basic skill increases the damage of your next core skill cast. Basic and core. Yep. Alright then, since this is a repeat... Oh, that's right. This one has, though, the Vicious Heart. Yeah, this one... Lucky hit, life. That's not bad. We'll see. We'll see. We'll keep you in suspense. How many of those are there? There's 3. Well, we'll get those. Those will be 3 pips. That'll get us almost there. So they answered a question today someone had, which is, why is it taking so much time and effort to add a stash tab? And they answered, well, they currently they have a server issue. Oh, that's an event. I don't want to do the event finishing. All right, I'm here. Fine. Their system, inexplicably,
we demand blood.
Every time you see another player on the screen, they load in their entire stash from the data stores. Why you would do that is a interesting question. When there's no way any other player can interact with your stash, but every time you see another player, that's what's happening. They load in their entire stash into server memory.
I'm Run out of spirit. I'm not ready yet.
Why they do this, I can't even begin to understand. Ding 46. Dun, dun, dun. Well, let's find the corpse. We're here. We just have to find the corpse. And then kill a bunch more stuff. It'll be fine. I promise.
I'm low on spirit.
Ooh, tier 43 complete. I'm not sure what I did to earn that next tier in the season's journey, or the reward path, or whatever the hell they call it. Game pass. Give me the boss guy. There, wow, okay. He was obviously very excited. Past tense. My dogs want to eat the wall. That'll give us our 10 pips, and we're off to the head office, the head branch, the headquarters. Lovely place they have here. Wonder who their decorator is. Off to the Tree of Whispers. Anything else worth looking at here? Nice attack speed. But no crit and no +2 to tornadoes. Gloves are a little disappointing in that you always want whatever your primary skill is. You want plus ranks there, otherwise the gloves are useless. The Tree of Whispers, or as I call it, repeatedly, the head office, the head branch, the headquarters. That's not worth it, and no. Right. And here is the Tree of Whispers. Oh, but first, let's go ahead and spend our point. More resolve.
It is done.
Chest plates, leg guards, or gauntlets. Chest plates. I think that's my only copy of that particular aspect. We'd have to get lucky. Was it boots? No leg guards. Leg guards. No, those are pretty good too. Gloves, I think. Man, do we have to get lucky.
Service fit for a
Oh, that's right. I misclicked, but 60 more platinum. So if you pay the money or you bought the Ultimate Edition for the launch and you run through the whole thing, you'll get 666 platinum, which is kind of nifty. Clever. I like that. Evocative. The cheapest thing in the shop is 800. So in other words, they give you 666 so you can buy more. You buy the pass, and the pass doesn't give you enough to buy anything with the coins they're giving you. Oh, what did I complete here? Let's see. Acquire a Wrathful Malignant Heart. I got that. I need 8 more Malignant Tunnels. I don't know. Maybe there was maybe some other thing I did gave me like a very small amount of advancement. I'm guessing. And 3 pairs of gloves. A mallet. Let's head back to Kyovashad. I need a little hot coffee because it's so cold here today. It's 90. Which is about 32, I think. Let's see. 30 would be divided by 5486. So, yeah. 32. For those of you who don't speak freedom units. That's a no. No. 1 rank of shred, 2 of pulverize, neither of which I use. Oh, let's see. 8 is divide by 9 is 1 and 5. What? 30. Well, 8 should be about 38. No, 48. I mean, 50. Let's see. 50 would be divide by 5, 10. No, that's the wrong way. Divide by 9. Let's see. Well, 45 would be 5. So 3 degrees. Yeah, about 51, 52. Yeah, that would be chilly. Not gonna lie. I would find that uncomfortably chilly for this time of year. But on the other hand, I find 90 or 32 uncomfortably warm for this time of year.
You can take what's left.
Well, I mean, I've got the math easily for me from Fahrenheit to Celsius. It's you divide by 5, you multiply times 9. No, sorry, from Celsius to Fahrenheit. You divide by 5, multiply times 9, and add 32. So 10 degrees Celsius, divide by 5 would be 2 times 9, 18. Plus 32 is 50. So actually 56 degrees. And then basically rounding off to 2 degrees Fahrenheit for each Celsius. So 8 degrees would be about 56, I think. All right, 8 would be 5 would be, divide by 5 is 1, 9. There we are, no. Divide by 5. So if it was 5 degrees, if it was 10 degrees, it would be 2, 18, 50. I'm screwing up my math again. If it was 10, divide by 5, 2, 18, 50. So actually, no, 46 is what your current temperature is, I believe. Yeah. That one's correct. 46 in Fahrenheit. Or, for this time of year, really, really fucking cold. We don't get
Farewell,
night temperatures
and
that
good
low.
fortune.
I understand the Scottish summer is beautiful for the 2 days it arrives every year. Haha. That's my one Scottish weather joke. That's the entirety of it. I hope you enjoyed it. Barrier generation, lucky hit, maximum life. What's my lucky hit at? Do I have an addition to lucky hit anywhere? Does that show up anywhere? Maybe I don't have any. Well, let's do a quick... No, not that, you dumb. So now that we know we have some of that, does it actually show up in here? Lucky chance increase %. There it is. So it does show up. Okay, that answers that question for me. That's a lot of life on a ring. But no crit chance, and I don't have any materials to re-roll the ring, and the ring's not good enough to hold on to. So, when you're struck as a werebear, I'm never going to be struck as a werebear. We'll sell that. Sell it. Convert it into materials. I need to do more of the seasonal mechanic dungeons. That may be the closest to any city that I'm aware of, so we're going to go with that one. Frankly, the new seasonal mechanics are underwhelming. They feel sort of like a slightly larger D3 season, and that's not a compliment. You guys missed me. What a bunch of losers. Losers. Seasonal dungeon. Something of malice. I have to slay 2 malignant ghouls. You notice all this 10 seconds of running? Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that ARPG players hate more than anything. We hate pointless running. We want to be fighting our way through everything, not running through anything. Basically. And especially what you don't want to be doing is running through something a second time. Sadly, we get an awful lot of that.
I do not have enough spirit.
I do not have enough spirit. Resplendent chest. It's resplendent. Hit him. And we will touch his malignant heart, and it re-summons him. Yeah, but in an MMO, that's more to be expected. It's definitely a lot more standard operating procedure in an MMO. that one's bad. Now you'll note, we have to run all the way back here, and there's nothing here. ARPG players hate this. And this is the kind of thing that makes us wonder, does dev team ever actually play an ARPG before? Because this is not what we like at all. It's about killing things and getting loot. If you want to shrink it up, that's a really good description of what ARPG players enjoy in a game. Killing lots of monsters and getting lots of loot to sort through. That's what the entire genre is sort of built on. And we've got another malignant heart. Seems another copy of the same boss again.
I'm not ready yet.
Another caged heart, and that one I have not seen before. I must have hit a higher tier of them. That one is worth holding on to. I couldn't go as far as say it's good, but it's not bad. And another bossy dude.
I'm not ready yet.
Yes, he froze me, and while I was frozen, he died. But let's resummon him and fight him again. A purple. Same exact value as that one? Yep. Same exact value. And we get to run back through the same stuff again. I mean, this is ARPG 101. You don't do this. This is the opposite of what your players want. And I certainly agree. Latro is scenic. But as in MMOs, well, the old saying is, the journey is the reward. Well, that's part of it.
I do not have enough spirit.
Another malignant heart. Same guy. And he's dead again. Alright, we have completed this dungeon. But there may be more. After spending of a primary resource, your next attack stuns enemies. That, again, is one I have not seen before. So, I guess when hitting level 45 or 46, I now can get the next higher tier of those hearts. Because the lowest tier was full of a bunch of crap for Druid. It was mostly just unplayable. Can I grow the Wrathful Outgrowth?
It is locked.
No. So, it'll be another Devious. Same deal as that one. Although, slightly better roll. Back to Kyovashad. Well, that's a lot more armor. One rank of Hurricane. The one I have currently has 2 ranks of Hurricane. Hurricane's been doing pretty chunky damage for me. Barrier and Ignore. It's imprinted, so I could use that one. Life Regen. It's not worth it. The other stats aren't very good. No. 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 Survey says no.
Anything else? Praise the Father.
The day's been fine. Played some Diablo 4. Played a little more Diablo 4. Now I'm playing Diablo 4. I woke up. I had lunch. I went through all of my internet crap. All the websites and everything. All my emails. All that stuff. When you're retired, your days get a very samey feel to them, which is not a complaint. I'm not complaining about my days feeling samey. I am merely noting that they feel samey. Let's see. That one currently has the wolf, which is good but not great. That's the great one. Would this be worth trading for that? Either of those. Probably not. I hope your day has been well, and yours should be well. Let's see. 2 or 3 in the morning right now? No, 1 or 2 in the morning, right? Well, okay. 12:30 or 1:30 in the morning, right? Ah, one of those. I get those occasionally. I have always gotten those occasionally. And yeah, they're bad. 3 or 4 hours and suddenly you just can't sleep anymore. Yeah. It's not as big a deal now as when I have no responsibilities other than, you know, as long as I wake up, it's a good day. I don't have to worry about work or school or anything like that. Yeah, so 1:30 in the morning there, right? 12:30 or 1:30 in the morning. That was 1. Okay, I don't have Nightmare Sigils. I can't see Helltides yet. I can't craft Nightmare Sigils yet. I could kill another player in PvP, but I would die 10,000 times. I've never been a big fan for long drives. And as I've gotten older, I am less comfortable driving any kind of distance at all. Especially at night. My night vision is shit. And my dusk vision is even worse. Oh, what's the longest I've ever driven? I don't think I've ever had a long drive. I've been in the car when someone else was driving. You know, like from the Bay Area to Las Vegas. That was long. From the Bay Area to the family cabin in Northern California, that was about 5 hours. I may have driven up to Sacramento. So that's like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. Driven to Santa Cruz, that's an hour. So yeah, I've never really driven a long drive. I've been in the car, obviously, for long drives, but never really driven one. Two hours for me would always be a long drive. Yeah, I did a lot of 2-hour drives up to where my parents were living. So I have done a lot of those 2-hour drives each way. And I was not a fan. Okay, where do we have more of our seasonal donjons? The Boiling Wound? I'm trying to cut down on my boiling wounds these days. That is really close. The Den of the Blighted. Well, we're off to the Den of the Blighted, my friends. Right, yeah, the gravel roads. Yeah, for me, if it was a 2-hour drive, that probably means that everything's 120 miles away. So that would be, what, 200 kilometers. See that math I did there? A kilometer's 0.62 miles. 2.54 centimeters in an inch. I believe 39.37 inches in a meter. Another dungeon. Gold. I love gold. 26 miles, 385 yards in a marathon. And my first year in high school, which would be 10th grade, in the high school I went to, I ran cross country and ran 3 to 5 miles every day, and the longest distance I ever ran was 13 miles. And now I'm an old fat man. Let this be a lesson to you, young man. I'm not exactly sure what the lesson is, but let it be a lesson. He's back again. Yep, it is. Well, especially if you think you were pretty good at something, and it sounds like you were. You gain extra critical damage, but lose non-critical damage. That can be really good later in the game. But what you just described is kind of what getting old is like. I recommend staying young. Trust me on this. You'll be glad you did. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't want to do that. Long-term cryostasis has never been proven as anything other than anything more complicated, let's say. Than like a single-celled critter. No mice. Maybe a planaria.
I must wait a moment.
And the way they do it is they take your head and stick it in liquid nitro. The problem is all of your cells rupture when they freeze because ice expands, which is really weird. When water freezes, it actually expands. Most things shrink when they get colder. Ice gets larger, and that will basically burst your cells, and we don't have any mechanics for repairing your cells. There you go. It's the Scottish bad attitude where they live forever just to spite other people. I'm down for that. No. I don't use an ultimate skill. That one's terrible for me. This one back here? Must have. We missed a malignant corruption. Careless of me to miss a malignant corruption.
I'm not ready yet. I do not have enough spirit. I'm not ready yet.
Whoops. All of those things exploding into large bunches of poison are unpleasant. On-death effects are something we ARPG players also don't like, but we're used to. We know we can't get away from them. But we don't like them. You got to be kidding. With the climate change coming, Scotland's going to be tropical. I hope that's an exaggeration. Yeah, well, especially if you're Highlands, that way you also won't have to worry about rising water levels. All right, it's Sullivan. Hi there. Stop dropping poison. Otherwise, I'm just going to let you play with my dogs all day. Okay, maybe not all day. And he's back again. And catch. Den of the Blighted. That one is usable.
It is locked.
A vicious outgrowth. He didn't last long. But now we get to kill him again. Oh, I guess that's right. These ones you don't have to kill twice. I saw the World Cup, or I saw a World Cup quarterfinal game at Stanford the last time I was here. I believe it was Sweden versus Bulgaria? Bulgaria or Romania. I can never remember which. Whichever one had George Hadji. 7% chance to summon the wolf companion. That's slightly higher. Yes, I know they are. They are a competitive team. There was a guy sitting behind my brother and I going, Haji, 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 the whole fucking game. That's how I remember who they were playing. George Hadji, I knew that. The game went to extra time. Both teams scored in extra time, and then Sweden won in PKs. And then lost by 1 to Brazil, I think, in the semis. $501, 7% spirit cost reduction isn't bad. I'd like to have Wrath skills on it, though. I would really like Wrath skills. Yep, so that's going to go. Landslide and no, 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 and no.
Well struck. It's a fine piece, true.
I understood it. It was a World Cup quarterfinal. It was annoying, but I really had no problem with it because, well, you know, how many times do you think that guy got to see George Hadji? I'm assuming he was, you know, from the U.S. We didn't talk or anything. It was a great event, though. Unsurprisingly, the World Cup. It's that, and that's the better version of that, I think. Yeah, we can 27, 28, 30. I'm not sure, that's only 22 seconds, though, so it's really not any better than those. 1% more chance, yeah, we'll just deconstruct that. And I'm going to take a second and refill my coffee cup. No, I'll give it another. Yeah, we're just about here. Be right back. Well, I was a fan of soccer from when I was a kid. My brother and I would watch, I think it was on Sundays. There was on the public broadcasting in the U.S., at least in the Bay Area, there was a show called Soccer Made in Germany. Toby Charles was the announcer, and they'd show highlights of one of the games from the Bundesliga. And so my brother and I would watch that. So I've been a fan of soccer since I was a kid. I was a fan of hockey since I was a kid. There was no hockey team there was no hockey team in west of the Mississippi, I think, when I became a hockey fan, let alone in the Bay Area. There briefly was in the Bay Area in Oakland, And then later on, I was a season ticket holder for the San Jose Sharks. So yeah, I completely understand. Getting hooked up on something, a sport that's non-standard, is something I completely understand. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Oh, American sports movies. I misread that as American sports. If you want to see a great not-for-kids American sports movie, I suggest you check out Paul Newman in Slapshot. I actually worked with a guy who appeared in it. No, actually, it's one of my shames. My brother is a huge coffee fan, a nut about coffee, mostly from this company, Pete's Coffee. I myself can barely taste the difference between good stuff and bad stuff. I just don't have an educated palate for coffee. Much to my brother's horror. Well, let's go to Tirmire. Well, I think that's part of the British Empire. I think you get that in your genes. Pretty sure they send you off to Australia as a convict if you're not good at making tea. It's possible I'm exaggerating, but not necessarily. Almost there. Really, we're almost there. We're nearly there. We're just about there. Everybody wants me to not be there, but I'm almost there. Oh, I don't have the key for that. Well, that iced tea is big in America. In the American South, there's a thing called sweet tea, which might be described as sugar with enough tea to dissolve the sugar. Oh, God, one of these.
Separated.
Yeah, you got separated. Wait for my friends. You won't last on your own. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shut up and summon the monsters, please. Oh, I'm sure you can take a little bit more.
I must wait a moment.
Victory's mine. I have never been a tea drinker. I mean, you know, I'll drink it at a Chinese restaurant. That's about it. You know, Asian restaurant offering tea, sure, I'll drink the tea. But that's pretty much the limit of my tea exposure, my tea knowledge. How much time on these? 27 minutes. Well, how about we head for that one? I never started drinking coffee with any regularity until I was well into my adulthood, or if you prefer, my adultery. Probably 40. Before I got a, you know, bought a coffee maker. Well, if he got the money, maybe it brought the scammer good luck.
We came here to purge this evil, but now I can't leave my friends here.
Oh, yes, you can.
Not like this.
More blah, 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 blah.
We can't
And
do
look
it
what's
alone.
happening. Oh, my cooldowns are coming off. That's good.
The only way out of this is cut out.
He's bad. It's not annoying at all. It's bad. Trying to keep NPCs alive. Basically, that's an escort quest without walking anywhere.
I must wait a moment.
Take this, my friend. It's not much, but I hope it helps.
Did I save them all, or?
Here, something for your troubles.
I think I saved all 3 of them.
You deserve this.
Yeah,
Never
saved all
seen
3 of
anyone
them.
fight like you.
Friend and I used to discuss, in particular, about Elric, who would be cast in the role. And back in the day, since I'm old, we can say back in the day, our pick was David Bowie. If you would like another book recommendation, I've got one for you. My two favorite fantasy series of all time, Lord of the Rings, that will surprise nobody. The other is Glenn Cook's Black Company. The first one is an utter masterpiece, and the first three are really, really good. After that, they're enjoyable and occasionally extremely good, but those first three are dynamite.
I must wait a moment.
Glenn Cook, The Black Company. The first one, titled The Black Company. Just as Tolkien's work, for most people, defines what high fantasy is, Glenn Cook's defines what low fantasy is. Gritty, realistic, no obvious heroes or bad guys. Well, that's not completely true. Some bad guys are way worse than others. But no obvious real heroes. They feel more like real people, you know, as opposed to sort of these iconic figures you have in something like Lord of the Rings. So that's kind of the difference, is high fantasy and low fantasy. Alright, we're looking for a corpse. I mean, I'm a fan of both, so... I'm tired of high fantasy, though. Because that's sort of the default value. There's so many books that are high fantasy out there now. You know, when I was younger, that wasn't an issue. Well, there's no shortage of great science fiction. Don't be shy about hitting the classics for science fiction. It took me 4 or 5 times to actually read Dune. I'd read it a few pages or maybe 100 pages, and I would lose interest. Eventually,
I'm not ready
when I
yet.
read it and got through it, I completely understood. It is indeed a classic. Deserving of the praise. I've read it twice in the last 10 years. I read the first 3 sequels as well, which are good. Funnily enough, the third one is possibly the best of the sequels. So there's Dune, Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, and then God Emperor of Dune. And much to my surprise, I really, really liked God Emperor. Alright, where's the corpse? So I can click on it and summon the beast. if you'd like to know something interesting, I will share something interesting with you. Dune tied for, I think, it was the Hugo for Best Novel, with a little red novel, but a very, very good one by Roger Zelazny called, titled either Call Me Conrad or This Immortal, depending on which edition. I cannot find the thing I'm looking for. Did it vanish on me? I hope not. I've got 18 minutes. I'm going to go there instead, because at least there I know I'll get something done rather than riding around like an idiot. Dune is worth it, but it can take a number of tries. Now, I had a lot of friends who had difficulty getting through The Lord of the Rings. So, it's not just a Dune thing. My advice to them was try to make it to Moria. If you make it to Moria, I think you'll be okay. And that worked out for almost all of them. Maybe even all of them. I read the parody of The Lord of the Rings before I read The Lord of the Rings. I read Board of the Rings before I read Lord of the Rings. I did a book report in 7th grade on Board of the Rings. And I'm sure the teacher got a real kick out of me talking about characters like Dildo Bugger, when it was obvious I had no idea what a dildo was. Or what buggering meant. I have a first printing, Silmarillion, because I've been waiting for it for years. And so I pre-ordered to have them save me a copy, went and got it the first day it was available. Quiet down there.
Not while I'm in town.
And yeah, I've read the Silmarillion maybe a half a dozen times. Nowhere near as many times as I've read Lord of the Rings. I have no idea the value of those. I mean, the Lord of the Rings was popular when the Silmarillion came out, but nothing like it is now. Bonk. Try not to run into the tree. Okay. Well, we've got another one here. Alright, you know, multiple of these little assholes with the CC is not welcome. I will now clear the basement. I don't know. I have 2 single volume hardbound copies of The Lord of the Rings that were gifts, and I don't consider either one to be a waste of money. Although obviously you don't need 2.
not ready yet.
How much time do we have left on this? We got 28 minutes. We'll start the trip up there, and along the way we'll kill enough bad guys to get credit. We'll hit level 47. Maybe hit level 50 later tonight. Not on stream. That's going to take a while. Leveling really slows down after 40 in my experience. No, they've definitely, they were not shy about the grim, dark nature of the world in Diablo in this case. I do wish that they were willing to embrace individual elements of a brighter color palette in certain times and places, as it can feel a little bit monotone in design. Not too much, but a little might be nice. I'm harvesting motes. Motes. And the boss. Didn't last long, ding 47. Excellent. We will finish up gathering all of these little venomous doodads. No, pretty much Diablo is downer central. The entire world is a shithole. The description that is often used in to describe Warhammer 40k from Games Workshop, grimdark, very much applies to this. Everything is bad all of the time.
I must wait a moment.
We will now head to the Tree of Whispers, the head branch of the head office in the headquarters. I'm very good at random questions. If worse comes to worse, I'll just give you a random answer. No, I never got into that. I know there are a number of websites, or I should say streamers, who do that sort of thing, that they scam back the scammers on stream.
It is done.
Helms, Chaos, and Rings. I'm just going to go with Chaos. Another level, I'm level 47. Now, I did a little bit of work at a big company in Silicon Valley, named after a fruit, and then a lot of startups, but it was all internal IT stuff. I had a few experiences where some of our less perceptive employees would open virus-filled or worm-filled emails. My favorite of those was we had several people open the I love you worm. And their reason for opening it was, I didn't recognize the 3-letter suffix, so I assumed it was safe. What? Nah, no particular goodies. We'll see if anything actual came out of that. Now, he knew a couple of the ones, like you don't want to open something that's a .exe or, you know, a Flash document, anything like that. But he didn't recognize the 3 letters, and so we figured that was safe. I wonder if he'd have felt abashed about it if he'd been the only one in the company who opened it up. But no, there were like 4 of them. A company of like 250, 300. So yeah, a little better than 1%. Pants. Those are not specifically very good pants. +1 rank to Hurricane. You know, I've got +2 ranks to Hurricane. I see why I would want to downgrade that. No. See, I've gotten to the point now in the game where upgrades are a lot more rare. And this is one of the weaknesses of the game, I think, is because the legendary affixes, the legendary aspects are so important to the build. Really, builds are built on those more than the stats of the items. That it is even harder to find an item that's worth upgrading if you can't keep the aspect on it. Max level in this game is 100. The real meat of the game doesn't start until 50. You finish out the story. If you're going to do the story for the first time, you probably finish the story between 45 and 50. And then you have to turn the world difficulty up to 2. If you haven't, you have to defeat a capstone boss. And that allows you into world tier 3, or you might consider difficulty tier 3, which opens up nightmare dungeons and hell tides, and most of the end game content becomes available after 50. That's a terrible critical strike chance. Two ranks of pulverized does me no good, sir. It does me no good. I'll get up to 500,000 gold and start. There we are. Start salvaging my rares again.
Ready for whatever you need. There's that.
Have many fine pieces, rare and beautiful.
The Bedeviled Grotto. Sure, why not? No, wait, there's a close one. That's the one I just did. Den of the Blighted. You can reset these, but let's go to the Bedeviled Grotto. Okay, you can ride a little faster now. The implementation of the mount in this game, I accidentally
I must wait a moment.
hit the right click, and if you do that while you're riding, it dismounts you. Fortunately, there's the Bedeviled Grotto. I see what you did. Actually, though, technically, Diablo is not named after the Spanish word for the devil, not directly. David Brevik, the original game's designer, named it after Mount Diablo here in the Bay Area. There's a mountain in the East Bay of the Bay Area, Mount Diablo, and that's what it was named after. Now, that mountain is named after Spanish for the devil, but he specifically cites that the name of Mount Diablo sounded really cool. Bay Area represents. I lived a good chunk of my life in the Bay Area's East Bay.
I must wait a moment.
20-odd years in the East Bay. Not Mount Doom. Good try, though. Where did that guy come from?
I must wait a moment.
Whoops. That was one of the League mechanic guys. He'll pop up, we'll knock him into the wall, he'll take damage from that. Personally, I think the Bay Area is as close as America is likely to get to the Shire if it was multicultural. Slay all. Oh, good. I have to slay all the enemies. I love slaying all the enemy missions. They're the best. Well, but yeah, it's not clear. The Bay Area is the San Francisco Bay Area. That is in Southern California, about 450 miles away. However, a large part of my youth was spent in San Leandro, which is right next to Oakland, and San Leandro is historically one of the most racist cities in America, in the Bay Area, believe it or not. And that borders right on Oakland, which is historically an African-American city. And I have had a few tense moments in Oakland during that time. Not quite that bad between San Leandro and Oakland, but, well, my friends from Oakland used to refer to the border as the Great White Wall. And the police department did everything in their power to keep it that way. San Leandro had laws, at least theoretically. Oh, they vanish if you don't click on them? What a pile of shit. Way to go, fucking Blizzard. What are you doing with that shit? Alright, well, I guess I better... Ooh, this is one of the good ones.
Just wait a moment.
Until the 70s, San Leandro had laws that made it illegal, whether it could be enforced or not, to sell your home to a black person. Oh, we definitely want to keep this one. Your damage over time effects. I don't have damage over time, but still it's a wrath one, so we want to keep that. That is the 6% chance for 29 seconds. It's a maybe. Quiet down there. I have to destroy the malignant corruption. Ooh, I will take the blast wave with me. Where are we going? We're going this way. Give me the boss! Give me the boss! I clicked it. I tell you, I clicked it. See if we can get anything out of the sort of bonus one. It's not that good. Yeah, Santa doesn't get out much, I guess. Ho, ho, ho. Stop. Well, we've got a resplendent chest. I think we have 2 chambers. All right, that's a vicious and a wrathful. I don't think we can.
Locked.
Yeah, we don't have a wrathful malignant invoker to open that yet. And I think over here we'll have the other 2 possibilities, or maybe not. Nope, nope, just 2. Okay, so I go back. Obviously, they reused a tile set here because to have nothing down that walkway was not great. Here we go. Invoke the Malignant. Oh, we get his heart. And we get a legendary helm. Not bad. I'll take that. Head back to Kyovashad for after action duty. You wouldn't believe how often I make that same statement. I say it here in stream a lot, not about the Grinch. I wonder how many people today even know blank. Which makes me sound like a real, genuine old man. Wow. No, 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 no. All right. And the legendary. That one's really fucking good. I mean, that one is good. This one is really good. The armor increase is really a good one. There's nothing wrong with sounding like an old man. Said the old man. Okay, that's an accurate thing to say. Granted. We want to upgrade our new helm.
Unexpected.
Do we want it to go to tier 4? Not right now. Not at that price. Now, the question is there anything... Oh, I can't roll anything on or off this yet. I don't have the pieces for it yet because those only fall from a specific location. Those only come from Helltides, and I cannot run a Helltide yet because I'm not on tier 3. Okay, it's imprinted, so it's an imprint. Oh, it's already imprinted then. There's nothing we can do with that. We can just simply deconstruct it for crafting mats. Yes, this is about as nice as it gets, I would say, in D4. It's a functional town. You get to it about 20 minutes or half an hour into the game.
That's good salvage.
So I would agree that you have described it accurately. This is about as good as it gets. And it ain't that good. All right. Let's try a crafted cache. Contain a random caged heart with a chance at a wrathful heart. Only got a couple of the wrathful hearts. This is a wrathful heart. Uncertain heart. This will probably just get immediately salvaged. Actually, that's not bad numbers on that. That is of a type that is pretty good, and the numbers on that aren't bad. Goes there, I think. Yeah. Here. Yeah, those are the criticals. That's the wolf companion for 29, 30, 28. We'll deconstruct that one for a little more space. This is the reward, the first tier of armor rewards from the Game Pass. Hey, it occasionally happens. Hi, 9 viewers. I got the Doom cask, so I can now... I thought that this was the Doom cask, believe it or not. I now think I have all of the Doom pieces except maybe the gloves. I want to look like I'm full of feathers. Because of reasons. Maybe I do not have the Doom pants. I do not have the Doom pants yet. Oh, that's not bad, though, the current one. So, but I think I have the Doom boots. Do I? I do. The Doom treads. But we don't want gold. It's so plain looking. I think we want another color. We'll start with the headpiece. We can go with purple feathers. Those are boring. That's not exciting. Orange isn't bad. Blue. I think red. I think we'll go with the red. We'll see how this looks. Now, I will stand out in the crowd appropriately. People will go, what the fuck is that guy wearing? Exactly as intended. It would depend. For instance, for me, if I'm hungry and it's late, I'll do something simple like, granted, I'm watching my calories, something simple like a small piece of bread with some peanut butter on it. That's like 150 calories. However, I would not, my alternative would be not a big breakfast. For instance, the full English. If I was planning on having a full English the next day, I would skip the snack so that I could... I'll go with that one for a bit, I think. It has a nice dangly thing. Did I have one more? Yeah, I needed to deconstruct. To salvage a little bit of the vicious? Vicious. Alright, what to do next? What do we have? Strongholds. We currently have 2 pips towards another visit to the headquarters. The head branch of the head office. Expires in 16 minutes. We can get there in 16 minutes. I have faith in me. But since you're asking about should you have a late snack or not, I will tell you a word of sage advice for when you get older. You will eventually reach a point where the standard thing when you have a baby is to stop giving them water after a certain time. You'll do that for yourself when you reach a certain age. Because you don't want to get up in the middle of the night to take care of, you know, some natural business. Multiple times a night. It doesn't sound like fun, and I can guarantee you it's less fun than it sounds like. That was about as fast a one as you're ever going to see. I would like to be the cool uncle. But I don't have any nephews or nieces. I feel like I'm being discriminated against because I have no nephews and nieces. How about if we head to where Janine... Wow. Wedge and honey. Wedge and honey. Although, several of the kids of my internet friends, you know, the people who are in my Latro kin, they know me as a weird internet Uncle Spongo. So I'm kind of an uncle. Spongo being the name that my Latro friends know me from. Because the first character they met me on was my Hobbit burglar, Spongo Smallberries. Yeah, I can see it counting. I'm willing to give myself the appropriate amount of credit for that.
I'm not ready yet.
Oh, it's down here. I have known some of those kids, in one case, their whole life, which makes me feel really frickin' old. That was even faster. Those ones are great when you can do them that quickly. If you mean the that right there, the little white bust, that is a bust of Napoleon, because like every good aspiring supervillain, you should have a bust of Napoleon in your lair. Next to it, wrong way, is young Napoleon, a picture of young Napoleon, or the painting of Napoleon as a young man. I believe the painting was done after Toulon, after his victory at Toulon. Come on, man. If you want to be a supervillain, you know, you got to know your stuff. You've got to take the appropriate measures. You want to study the masters. I don't have, you know, a volcanic lair or a secret underground lair, but I do own my own condo, and that counts. Sort of. Kinda. Alright. And once again, we're off to another cellar. Yeah, I am familiar with that being an occurrence in a number of places where statues of historical figures end up with traffic cones on their head. Sir Arthur Wellesley. Wellington was a very, very good defensive-oriented general. But historically, most of the world is unaware of the role the Prussians played at Waterloo. That's right. You mentioned about Sharp. Yeah, you wanted to purge the evil, blah, blah, blah. I know, there's 3 of you have got to try and keep you all alive. Shut up. Summon the mobs, let's go.
Not like this.
We can't do it alone.
You can't do it alone.
I'm not ready yet.
It's a bit early to say we're going to make it. You've got another 15 seconds I have to keep you guys alive. If I can be convinced to do it.
I'm not ready yet.
That ought to do it.
You deserve this. Never seen anyone fight like you.
I think 2 of them died. 2 of them died. I only saved 1 of the 3. I feel shame. I'm over it. It's a big battlefield, but it looks... I mean, I haven't seen it, but I've seen pictures. It looks less interesting than you'd expect, like a lot of battlefields. It looks like just countryside. I mean, there are a couple of significant, obvious sort of leftover signs. There's Hougoumont, the chateau, would be the obvious one, where the English allies held out for hours against continual assault, would be the obvious one. Oh, I need more bandits? Well, gosh. Okay. Since I'm in Bandit Central, we'll take care of that by killing some bandits. Hey, look, bandits! I just need 7 more bandits. Oh, look, a bandit. More bandits! One more bandit. Oh, look over here. A poor, lonely little bandit. Alright, that's taken care of. We need 63 more kill proofs. Quiet down there. Harvesting venomous motes. Oh, look at that. Not thoughtful of them to just appear out of nowhere in an ambush. It's nice when they choose to help you out like that. We're about halfway done now. Right for Lilith.
not ready yet. I must wait a moment.
I now have enough moats. Ooh, chest armor, legendary. And here's where I need to deposit those. And that will give me enough for another trip to the head office, the head branch, the headquarters. Three dead bosses. And we're off to the desolate highlands and the Tree of Whispers. Yes, I agree that being in a place like the field of battle at Waterloo, if you're familiar at all with it, you really can feel, pardon me, as I'm being anally retentive, you can feel the weight of history. I know it sounds cliche, but you really can. What do we got? One-handed, two-handed. Well, let's see if we can get lucky on a two-handed. It's not likely. Unless amulets. How's our amulet doing? 448. Pretty good. That's 532. Our odds of beating that are small. Really small. Let's take a look. We'll go with we'll take a shot at the amulet then. Well, we got a legendary. Back to Kyoshad. Move that to there and give it a look in a minute. Pardon the yawn, old man. It's not you, it's me. And it really is. No. That's a lot of extra armor. Sadly, no. Because my chest has what? Well, one of those is not useful. But actually the affix, the aspect is really good. But not good enough to peel off and apply it to that. No. Evade charge. I do love me some evade charge. Stats aren't so great. Nope. Evade charge again. Again, not great stats. No, no. No. We will salvage. Actually, it will salvage all of the magic. Those are the blue items. And the rare item. And the one common item.
Came apart nicely. Anything breaks, the forge is hot.
Chest. 2 ranks of Blood Owl. Damage reduction, fortify generation. That affix is pretty good. When there are at least 5 enemies, stun them for 2 seconds. 2 to 4. I got 2. We can only occur once every 20 seconds. Still, that's pretty good. The life is good. The damage reduction and fortify generation are good. If I can roll off the Blood Owl, and eventually I'll be able to. It depends. Most Diablo, well, I was going to say most Diablo 4 players, but because it's a Blizzard game and a Diablo game, it's going to have a lot of players who are not normally ARPG players. ARPG players generally, because we're used to not necessarily a more polished product, but a deeper product. We're used to Path of Exile or Last Epoch or Grim Dawn. And so, as far as the location goes, they tend to be pretty grimdark. Yeah, there's a Warhammer 40k ARPG that's obviously very grimdark, that I actually enjoy a lot. But ARPG players tend to want a deep game, and this is, at least right now, not an especially deep game. So generally, ARPG players are a little more sour on the game than I think the general player base. The general player base is a lot more accepting or not aware of the issues that the ARPG players think are important. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Warhammer is huge. I don't know about the books. I know about a few of the games and the lore. Some of the lore is quite good, and it's really easy to go into a lore hole where you're looking up one thing, particularly for me, for Warhammer 40,000, which is the futuristic grimdark one, where you see an idea or a name or something, and you look it up at the wiki, and 3 hours later, you've been at it reading wiki page after wiki page, and you now have 12 tabs open on your browser of more stuff you want to look at. So it can be very intriguing, especially for me, the 40k stuff. The regular Warhammer stuff, not as much. And as to the quality of the books, I'm not sure. I own a bunch of them in PDF form, but I haven't read them. Let's see. Debilitating Roar is now a werewolf skill. Debilitating Roar will immobilize. Well, that is not especially helpful for me. Whereas that can be. That's right. It does not have a great lucky hit chance, but it has a chance to proc a lucky hit every time it deals damage. So that's good. I think I want to keep it, but I don't think I can use it. This one I want to use and reroll off Ranks of Bloodhowl. But that aspect is even better than this one. So I'm going to hold on to both of these. I don't know what that affix can also be applied to, so I will hold on to both of those. Some of the Warhammer Games Workshop is the company. They're British, who own the Warhammer 40k IPs, and they are notorious for licensing it to anybody to make a game. So their games run the gamut from really good, to complete and utter shit. Because basically, if you're willing to pay them some money and sign on the dotted line, sure, make a game. Some of them are really, really good. I really enjoy. There's an ARPG, so a Diablo-alike game. Set in Warhammer 40k. Actually, there's one in Warhammer as well. I liked the Warhammer one. I was in the minority. It did not get very well reviewed. I liked it. It was a more simple, straightforward ARPG type game. I really like the Warhammer 40k one. But I think I'm going to call it here for the evening. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me. As always, I appreciate it very, very much. I'm going to take tomorrow off, I do believe, take a Sunday off, and come back on Monday rejuvenated and ready to go, and probably past level 50 and into the more end-gamey stuff. I've been doing leveling for the last couple of days, and I think that's just inherently less interesting. So, anyway, I should be back on Monday, off tomorrow. Monday at my usual time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Middle of the night in Europe. And I want to thank you guys again for hanging out. I hope the rest of your Saturday night kicks ass, and that your Sunday is equally good or even better. Back in a couple of days. Thanks for hanging out. Have a great night tonight. Take care. Hopefully you'll see me soon. And ciao for now. Good night, guys. And you on